The Leaders Coach podcast is about connecting leaders to an identity that will help transform their leadership by engaging in conversations that lead to opportunities for growth, authenticity, and vulnerability. As we're unlocked, we simultaneously empower others to live and lead unique and authentic lives. Let's go deeper. Welcome to the Leaders Coach podcast with Dr. Shanita Brown. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another season of the Leaders Coach podcast with Dr. Shanita Brown. Woo! I'm so elated. First of all, Happy New Year. It's been a long time. Our season 2 ended back in October, and now we're here February. Man, we are back and we are better than ever. And so I'm so grateful for those of you who've always tuned in. Season 3 is just going to be even better. We're just taking it up another notch. And so I'm extremely grateful for that and proud of that more than anything. And so again, Happy New Year, Feliz Navidad. I'm glad that I hope you all had an incredible holiday, enjoyed your family over this holiday, because so many holidays have passed by since we last seen each other. That was November Thanksgiving, and then December Christmas, and now January New Year. And so it's been a long time, and so I have to catch you guys up, and I really want to hear from you. What have you been up to? What have you been up to since we have last spoken? Oh man, it's going to be amazing, I'm telling you. And so to pop off or to catch up with where we left off back in October, I told my leaders, because you guys know, those who are listening, I said, hey, I was looking for something to call you all, right? So for example, those who are just now tuning in, season 3, go back and listen to the previous episodes. The previous seasons, they are all out on all platforms: Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music, just all different places. You guys can just type in the Leaders Coach with Dr. Shanita Brown, and it will definitely pop up. And so, I mentioned before, like Beyonce has the Beehive, Tamar has the Tamartians. And so I said, what can I call those who have rocked with me, those that are rocking with me? And the word that was chosen was Pathfinders. So moving forward, when I call you guys Pathfinders, I want you to understand what that means. It means a person who goes ahead and discovers or shows others a path or a way. All right. So this person is a person who goes ahead of a group and finds the best way to travel through an unknown area. So this is the person to do something first. This is the person to make things happen or make it possible for others to do the same. That's what a Pathfinder is. You are making it possible for others to do the same thing. You are the one that goes ahead and shows other people the path, show them the way forward, because that's what leaders do. So my Pathfinders, I'm excited. Just a new season, my Pathfinders. I want you guys, when you are going throughout your day or throughout your time, I want you to say, or even when a challenging time comes, I want you to say, I'm a Pathfinder, because that is who you are. You're a leader. You find the best way for your people to travel, especially in unknown areas or unknown places. So Pathfinders, you guys are in for an incredible season 3. I'm excited about the guests that we have in this season, season 3. We're going to be talking about, I don't know if every episode is going to be about self-awareness, but we're going to touch on self-awareness quite a bit in a lot of our episodes. And so I want to hear from you. Let me know, where do you want to hear about self-awareness, in what areas? Relationships, work, parenting, romantic relationships, friendships. I want to hear where you would like to hear and learn more about self-awareness, because we're going to talk about that. But today, what we're going to do is we're going to really lay that foundation of self-awareness. And so tell people to connect. We want to hear from you. What do you want to hear from the Leaders Coach podcast as it relates to self-awareness? So you guys can connect with us on Instagram at the Leaders Coach Pod. That's the Leaders Coach Pod. You guys can hit us up on our website, theleaderscoachpodcast.com. You guys can email us, leaderscoach@ShanitaBrown.com. That's leaderscoach@ShanitaBrown.com. Hey, we got Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. My personal Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter is Dr. Shanita_Brown. We want to hear from you. We want to know where you would like to hear about self-awareness. That's what we want to know. Again, if you say, hey, Dr. Brown, I don't want to email, you guys can DM me. You guys can also go to our website, theleaderscoachpodcast.com. And as you scroll down on our website, right there in the middle, you will see a purple sign. It's my favorite color. So let me throw that out there. Purple is my favorite color. If you don't know now, you know. So if you guys are ever thinking about gifting me with something, sometimes you got to speak stuff and put it out in the atmosphere, right? So if you guys are ever thinking about gifting me something, make sure it's purple. All right. Purple rain. Now let me stop. Make sure it's purple. So you can click there and leave a voice message and it will come to us. And you never know, your question will be answered right here on our show. Not only will it be answered, but you guys will actually hear the question. So for example, if one of our Pathfinders want to ask a question and we'll play the question, you will actually hear your voice on the Leaders Coach podcast. And so we definitely want to hear from you relating to that. So we got some new things. We got new segments, revamped some segments. And so you guys are going to experience that today on our first episode of season 3. Yes, I'm excited. I miss you guys so much. I didn't know. Sometimes you don't know how much you need something, right? And so even me doing this show, recording this show right now, it's like I'm super excited. And if I were to tell you how late it is, if it's time wise, you'll be like, man, you sounding really energetic at this late hour. But it's because I love what I do. I love people. And most importantly, hey, my Pathfinders are making a difference. And so let's go ahead and jump into this. Y'all know how we do it. That first segment is the question of the day. We're definitely going to keep that segment, the question of the day. And that question of the day for my new people, how I do it is I go to the website, and that is checkin.daresay.io. And whatever question pops up, I answer it because I'm bold like that. Because Pathfinders, we're bold, right? And so this question is this, and it popped up. Y'all give me a minute to process through it. It says, what are your biggest challenges for today? Ooh, that's a great question. What is my biggest challenge for today? Man, I would say right now is putting first things first. And so what I mean by that is with my occupation, there's so many duties, so many responsibilities that I have to oversee, that I have to do. And so I think the challenge for me is putting first things first. So that means making sure that whatever needs my immediate attention, like the priorities, there we go, putting things in order of priority. So whatever is my biggest priority, that needs to be done first. Whatever, let's say if somebody comes into my classroom or to a meeting, hey, Dr. Brown, we need you for this, or can you do this? Can you do that? And me really just seeing the urgency of that and not allowing it to throw me off from my priorities. Okay. So if I already have a list of things to do, which I do because I have to check it off, right? And if something pops up that is not on my list, then I have to decide, hey, what's first things first? Is this something I can do real quick for this person? Is this something I can send a quick email for? Will it take me off of the path of the list that I already have to do? So I have to think through all of those things. And I think through those things because, again, I work at a high school. I work with seniors, and I oversee a group of, I oversee all of 12th grade. I oversee a group of teachers. And so I lead a lot of people, and not just on my job, but even in my personal life, even in my business. And so I lead a lot of people. But if I'm talking about it from my job perspective, it's so many people, calling, you're getting the email, you're getting people coming into your classroom, you're getting people, hey, reaching out through text, hey, can you do this real quick? So it's a lot. And so for me, I'm having to say, does this need my immediate attention? And so I believe my greatest challenge for today will be just keeping first things first. And the biggest thing with that is knowing that it's okay. It is okay as leaders, as pathfinders, to set those boundaries. Hey, so and so, I'm not able to get to that today, but I'll get to it by Tuesday for you. And knowing that that's okay, because you're not saying no, you're just saying it's just not right now. And so that's one of the things as a pathfinder that we do have to learn. We have to continue to navigate that, even as we going through different spaces, even as you're a parent, right? Hey, son, daughter, give me about 3 minutes. Let me take my break. Let me breathe in a little bit, because when your son and daughters they get older, they have their own relationships, friendships, romantic relationships. People are not going to be there at their beck and call, right? So even teaching them certain boundaries and different things like that. And so that's my biggest challenge, is keeping first things first. All right. And so we're going to go ahead and transition into this new segment. This new segment is called Leadership Quote. And so what this segment is going to do is there will be a quote that'll be available. I'll choose a quote and then I'll just briefly explain it, but it's centered around leadership. And this was inspired by, I remember I was a freshman in high school and we had to write journal entries. So when we walked into the classroom, there was a question that we called our journal prompt. There was a question on the board and our teacher had it on the board. And so we would get our journals. We already knew, come in class, get our journals. And then we write what we felt that particular quote meant. And even to this day, in my big age, my ninth grade, it's like 14, like over 20 years ago, right? I still remember some of those quotes that my teacher would write. And so that's how impactful it was. And it's just something about writing, like paper and pen versus all the digital technology stuff. And so the question, and so this is February, and so we are going to honor our Black leaders, our Black American leaders who have paved the way. Pathfinders. Look at that. Pathfinders. Y'all see how I didn't even write that down. It just came to me, right? And so I do want to honor them. So this month specifically, it will only just be a Black leader quotes. And over the next upcoming months, of course, I want to honor all diversities and cultures because that's who I am. And so we'll do that. But this month we will do Black Americans quotes, right? Or Black leaders Black leader quotes. They don't have to necessarily be Americans, but just, brown skin. All right. So it says, if you are always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be. That's Maya Angelou. If you are always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be. And so, of course, y'all already know. I want to hear from you. What does this quote means to you? What does this quote say to you? That how does that resonate with you? How does that sit with you? Because as pathfinders, right, aka leaders, we can't fall into the status quo. Okay, because again, with the leaders coach, it's all about leading yourself first and how well you're leading yourself. And so there is a poem that many people may have heard by Marianne Williamson. And it says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightening about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. And I quoted that because, again, that quote, it's saying in that poem, they tie in because it's saying you gotta be who you are. You got to know how amazing you are, and how amazing you are comes in where that quote says, you playing small does not serve the world. Right? There's nothing enlightening about you shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure about you. It's okay that we know that we're powerful beyond measure, that our light is our light in our darkness. Sometimes our light in our darkness that frightens us. And that's why sometimes we're like, oh, I'm normal. And normal meaning in a way of just fitting in and not allowing you to be your true authentic self. So let me be clear when I say normal. That's what I mean. Normal as relates to your own unique pathway, your own unique identity, your own unique footprint, and be you and not just look at somebody else and seeing how they're doing it. It's okay to to admire what other people are doing or how they do it. Nothing wrong with that. But that's going to make you normal if you're not walking in how amazing you are. Because you will never know it if you're continuously trying to be normal, continuously trying to identify as somebody that you admire. It's not going to work. So I just want to encourage you guys. It's your light, not your darkness. It's you not playing small. It's being empowered, allowing your light to shine. That's going to show you how amazing you are. Because my Pathfinder, you're not normal. You weren't born to be normal. You were born to be a Pathfinder. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and slide into our next segment. This next segment, and this will be our last. No, it's not. My bad. One of our segments called Root Check. Root check. ROOT check. And so it's simple. If the fruit is off, the root is off, right? If the fruit is off, the root is off. And we're going to be talking about a few topics. So emotional health, belief systems, identity, mindset, traumas, different things like that. But we're not going to dwell in our traumas. And as y'all will see, especially throughout season 3, I understand trauma. I believe in it. I have my own traumas, but we're not going to just keep living from that place. We're going to identify what that is, and we're going to move forward, because that's what Pathfinders do. Okay. And we're going to see how our traumas, right, are impacting us are impacting the way that we operate. Okay. So again, if the fruit is off, the root is off. And so this is going to be simple. What is your leadership rooted in? And so we're going to real quickly, we're going to just be talking about rooted leaderships. Okay. And I want to talk about this for this episode. We're going to talk about emotional health. Okay. So think about it. How has your emotions, been affecting how you are, your output, right? So if your fruit is off, then the root is off. So think about, how have you been feeling? Has your fruit been off? Have you been very unkind, unpleasant, or very irritable? You're not tolerable of a lot of things. And I don't mean just like 1 or 2 times, but it's you starting to see that it's a pattern, right? Then you need to really look at, okay, where am I rooted, right? Where am I rooted? Where have I shaped my identity in this root as it relates to my emotional health? Okay. So for example, let's say, I'll use me. So a few weeks ago, I was very, very irritable. Oh my God. I'm very irritable, tired, weary. A lot of things were going on. And I was just like, you know what? This is team too much right here. And so I noticed that I was a little bit more, because I wasn't as patient, and every little thing just annoyed me. And so I remember, and I'm going to be candid because y'all know I'm real honest and frank. And I was at work and when this happened, and I had to go upstairs to a small room, and I had to sit there, and I began to just cry because I had a lot of things going on, and I just needed to get that out of me. The tears just came out of nowhere, right? And so the tears came out of nowhere because I was just like, this is not me. I'm not as easily irritated. I'm not as easily annoyed. So and that's showing up in the way that I am. And those things are just showing up in the way that I'm moving right now, in the way that I'm handling things and handling people. And I don't like that. And so I had to get back to a place. And of course, with me, I'm a Christian. You guys know that, those who have followed. And so I was like, man, my identity, who I am, has just been rooted in all of the frustrations, the letdowns, the lack of support that I have been experiencing in my workspace. And so I said, man, I got to get rerooted, right? I got to do a root check and just put my identity back in those things that will continue to grow me and continue to inspire me. And so and I have to really check on my emotional health. And I again, I wasn't expecting to cry, but I needed to cry, because sometimes you have to cry to let that stuff out your body. And when I cried, let it out my body, I did feel better. After I prayed and I said, hey, God, you got to show me a path forward. Like, because this is what I'm getting and this is all I'm going to get. My coach, when I played basketball, used to always tell me, I play basketball, right? So you don't play you play as though they're not going to call the foul, because you're not going to always get the fouls called, right? And so I had to keep that in my mind. I was like, okay, well, I need to make sure that these things are happening around me. Some things I can't change. Again, the fouls may not be called, but I have to still play and move forward as though, because they won't always be called, right? And so I had to reroute myself in the things of God, in the things of my faith. And that really, really did help me. So every day, every now and then, we need to do a root check. What is my leadership rooted in? So I want to hear your story. Again, I would love to hear your story. Email us at leaderscoach@ShanitaBrown.com. DM me at Dr. Shanita_Brown, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Go to our website, theleaderscoachpodcast.com. I want to know, hey, what was your root check? Let us know what your leadership was rooted in this past week. What patterns have you noticed that you're like, I'm not feeling that? And again, if the fruit is off, the root is off. Lastly, what inspired you? We've been having that for the last few seasons. What inspired you? So inner work for outer input, right? So real quickly, it was January, beginning of January, and some of you guys know this. I teach Christian leadership at a local church, and so we celebrated 1 year of us having our young adult ministry, which I am one of the I kind of help oversee that ministry, kind of help the leaders there, different things like that. And so, but they created a video, and in the video that they created, I had quite a few young people that said, hey, Dr. Shanita, Miss Shanita, some of them call me Miss Shanita, and they said, she has really helped with my spiritual growth. She has really helped with these things. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be as bold or courageous, whatever their testimonies were. And when I tell you guys, my heart melted. Why did it melt? It melt because sometimes, if you ever been a parent, you don't even have to be a teacher, but if you've been a parent, sometimes you feel that what you say or what you do, it just falls on deaf ears. And so for me, that inspired me, because it's like, Dr. Brown, this inner work that you're doing is making an outer impact. This inner work of studying, being diligent, being faithful, all these things, believing the truth of God's word, studying, all these things, the inner work that you're doing is producing a greater outer impact. And so for that, I was just so grateful. And so those are the things that inspire me. So continue to do what you do. And that inspired me. You know what? Because again, I don't go do things to see me, give me the accolades. That's not me. Do I want the accolades and appreciation? Of course, I'm human, but I don't live for that. So when I do get it, it humbles me. I'm so honored, because it's like, God, because you're with you 24/7, 365 days. So you. And so sometimes that little voice can pop up and like, see, you battle with this, you do this, you do that. And it can, and nobody knows those thoughts, right? Because they're not in you, like you're in you all the time. And so it just humbled me. And I was just so honored by that. And so that was what inspired me. And so those will be our segments. Question of the day, leadership quote, root check, and what inspired you. that what inspired you is inner work for outer impact, right? What inspired you? Inner work for outer impact. And that brings us to our topic of this episode, and particularly this season, right? So we're going to be talking about self-awareness. So let's start off with what self-awareness is. It is the conscious ability to recognize and understand your own thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and motivations, along with how these affect yourself and others. So in a nutshell, let's just break that down just a little bit. It's pretty much being aware of and being conscious, not just aware, but being conscious of your own thoughts, emotions, behaviors, your pretty much your thinking, feeling, choosing, and how these things affect you and how they affect others. Okay. And so there are two types of self-awareness that we're going to be working through. Number one is the inner self-awareness, right? It's how you see your own value, your thoughts, and your emotions. So internal, inside. Internal self-awareness, how do you see your own values, your thoughts, and your emotions, and being conscious of those things? External self-awareness is how we are seen by others, how other people see you. All right. And so to practice this, because we don't know how other people see us unless they tell us, right? We can't read minds. And so to practice this, you want to be able to create an open and safe environment where if you are leading at your job, where your team members can come to you, or your friends can come to you, your spouse can come to you, your children can come to you and give you this feedback that will help you improve, right? And so sometimes we don't want to be like, oh, I don't want to be looked at as bad, or I don't want to be looked at as mean. And sometimes it is hard for us to hear the truth of how people perceive us, especially in certain situations, right? And that's not always easy. It's not always easy, but it's beneficial because it's a part of self-awareness. So again, self-awareness is just not about you being conscious of your own self, right? But it's also how you're seen by others, right? And again, this is not something to be like, oh, well, let me minimize myself, or let me stop doing this. And it's nothing to be critical of, but it is to be, okay, that's something I can work on a little bit more. Or, hey, does this align with what I believe within myself, my own values, my own principles, my own morals? And so it's just a self-check, right? A self-check. So for me, I believe I'm encouraging. I believe that I see myself as an encourager, and the feedback that I get from people, they'll, hey, Dr. Brown, you're so encouraging. Oh, I really needed that. And so those two things align, right, with my own internal self-awareness and external self-awareness. Okay. So those are the things that we're looking at when we're talking about those things. Okay. So again, self-awareness is the ability to understand who you are, how you think, how you feel, how you act, and how you affect others. Pretty much in a nutshell. Easy peasy. The ability to be conscious enough to understand who you are, how you think, how you feel, how you act, and how that affects others. Right. So we already talked about the two main parts of self-awareness. That is internal self-awareness and external self-awareness. Okay. So again, that internal self-awareness is understanding what's happening inside of you. That includes your emotions, your thoughts, beliefs, your values, your motives, your fears, strengths, weaknesses, traumas, whatever it is. That's pretty much you. All of those things what makes you, your soul, right? Your soul, because your soul is your mind, will, and your emotions. Okay. And we're not going to get into that right now, but so that's what the internal self-awareness is, what's happening inside of you. So for an example is knowing you get frustrated when you feel annoyed and understanding why. Okay, so I'm frustrated. Somebody is ignoring me and I'm really frustrated. Why? And again, the why is not necessarily just going all the way down the rabbit hole, because sometimes we do that. We think, oh, let me find out. Maybe I'm broken. It's not for you to do all that analytical stuff. It's pretty much for you to just see the pattern. Man, why am I ignored why am I frustrated when I'm ignored? And in understanding why. So therefore, when you do that trauma is triggered again, or you experience something similar, you can understand why you are frustrated behind it. Again, it's not for you to beat yourself up about. It's not for you to say bad things about yourself or to think bad about yourself. It's just being aware, because some people don't, man, why am I frustrated right now? Because sometimes your moods will change. You're like, what just changed? What just happened? And that's just being conscious of what's going on inside of you. I tell my clients all the time, those clients that I coach, you are the greatest expert on you. So why am I feeling this way, and understanding that? Okay. So again, why do I feel what I feel? Sit with yourself, walk through it, be honest with yourself. Okay. Like I tell some of my clients, write it down when you feel those emotional heights. You're like, what is this? What is that? Keep a journal. We got phones now. Write it in your phone. Hey, during this time when I was talking to so-and-so, I noticed my emotions got really big, or they got negative, whatever. Write that down if you see a continuous pattern in a certain direction, so therefore you can pinpoint it. And if you need help, you guys can always go to my website, ShanitaBrown.com. That's what I do as a leadership coach, help you to create those bubbles and create that awareness around why you feel the way you feel and what you need to do to continue to move forward. All right, so some signs of strong internal awareness, right? Strong internal self-awareness is naming your emotions, understanding your triggers, what motivates you, understanding your personal values, and just kind of explaining. You can explain why you make the decision, because sometimes you ask people, why did you do that? Oh, I don't know, because they're not in tune with themselves. And it's so important. Whether I don't care if you're married, got kids, you got a lot going on. There are moments in your life, even if you got to sit in your car in the garage and don't nobody know you home but you, where you just sit with yourself. That is so important. And we're going to talk more about that, because that's going to be your time that you need to come back to center, to come back to yourself, to come back to your faith, to come back to what I said earlier when I said I went up to that room upstairs at my job and I started crying, to get back centered. All I needed was a good 10 minutes just to get back rooted, because again, my fruit was off. So I said, oh no, my root is off. And that was because I understand the internal, I was internally self-aware, like, no, something's not right. This is not how you normally roll. Something is not right. So my root is off. And I was able to do that because I understand myself. Okay. Next thing, external self-awareness, right? Understanding how others experience you. Okay. This includes your tone. I come from, a black family, right? And it's sometimes it's always yelling. You be like, why are we doing all this yelling, right? So understanding how others experience you. So this includes your tone, your body language, your attitude, your communication style, your energy. Oh my God, that's a huge one. And even your impact on others. All right. So for example, realizing that when you speak loudly, people may feel intimidated, even if that's not your intention. So again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about your tone. Some people I know I speak very loud. People say, oh, like I'm walking down the hall, we know that's Dr. Brown. And I was like, well, that's me. And at least if I'm talking about you, you hear me. No, I'm joking. But my tone is loud because I speak loudly. But some people can speak loud, that's fine. But some people can have more of an aggressive tone behind them speaking loudly. And so that can make people feel intimidated. And some people just intimidate. They just want to be intimidated. That's different. But still being aware of, okay, let me tone down a little bit when I talk to so-and-so, or let me be aware of when I, talk to this person, because maybe I can be loud with this person. This group over here, I can't be too loud. So again, I work with, they're seniors now. You guys are going to hear a lot more about my seniors this season, because they will be graduating in May, and I've been their leadership teacher and their grade level administrator. Leadership teacher since their freshman year of high school, and their grade level administrator since their junior year. And so you guys gonna be hearing a lot about that. So I'm excited about that. And so just making sure that, so me working with them, some of them I just be like, can't be as blunt and direct as I would like, because it may come off as like, oh my God, you hurt my feelings, this whole nother generation, right? But then I may have another group that I can be more blunt and straightforward with, and they get it. So again, that's that external self-awareness, just knowing how what I do, what I say, how they impact others, right? And then allowing others to speak freely in a respectful way of how that may have impacted them. And again, if you're hearing the same people say the same thing, you might want to check it. But if you're hearing maybe one or two people, because again, we all have our own things that we got going on. So you got to keep that in mind and not get too much in your head about that. All right. So again, a good key question for external awareness will be, how do other people experience me? So signs of strong external awareness is you receive feedback well, you recognize your influence, you adjust. Come on, somebody. You adjust your behavior when needed. Come on, I feel that. You adjust your behavior when needed. And then you understand how your words affect others, and you are aware of how you come across. Okay. So again, the internal awareness is how you see yourself. External awareness is how others see you. Your internal is your inner world. External is your outer impact. Internal, again, is your thoughts, emotions, your attitudes, your motivations, your values. Your external awareness is the behavior, your influence, how you impact other people. And so for my faith believing people, because sometimes the way I grew up, it's, it was, so especially some parents, they I did it right. You want you as children to not check them in a disrespectful way, but say, hey, this is how it hurt me or whatever. So this is a scripture, Psalm 139, 23 through 24. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. And then Matthew 5 and 16 says, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds. All right. And so that's a scriptural connection that can help us understand our internal and our external self-awareness. And so this is a closing thought. Self-awareness is self-awareness is the foundation of leadership. You can't lead others well if you don't understand yourself. And you can't love people well if you don't understand your impact on them. Let me say that again. Self-awareness is the foundation of leadership. You can't lead others well if you don't understand yourself. And you can't love people well if you don't understand your impact on them. Oh, come on, accountability and responsibility. I love to hear it. But again, you guys, I'm excited this year. This season 3 of the Leaders Coach, we really go dive in. We're going to really dive in, and we're going to really make sure that we are being rooted and grounded in that identity. So therefore, we're able to lead ourselves well in the way we think, the way we feel, and the way we choose, and making sure that we have a great impact on those people that we lead. You guys can always hit us up by going to our website, theleaderscoachpodcast.com. That's theleaderscoachpodcast.com, as well as hitting us up on our IG. Not only hit us up, but follow us and tell somebody about it. The Leaders Coach Pod on Instagram, as well as emailing us, leaderscoach@ShanitaBrown.com. You guys can follow me on my personal Instagram, my personal social media, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, or what is called X now, is Dr. Shanita_Brown. Again, let me know, how was your root? How was your root? Let's do a root check. Let us know, how was your root? Even if you put it in the comments, how was your root this week? Hey, till next episode, y'all stay up, stay blessed. Peace. God bless you. This has been the Leaders Coach Podcast with Dr. Shanita Brown.